Boys, Tinto Maps is back at it with a really interesting map of East Africa, the first iteration of information about Ethiopia, which in this timeline actually is going to be extremely interesting to be playing as. Guys, before we continue, as you know, I am partnered with Instant Gaming, and we have a massive announcement. There is a huge discount on Victoria 3, only €9.91 right now, 80% cheaper. There's more discounts on the Sphere of Influence DLC, and even on a ton of DLCs for Europa Universalis 4. Instant Gaming also gets their CD keys straight from authorized resellers, and they also have cross-platform availability. You can check out the trending tab pre-order to see what games you might be interested in. I get a commission on every single purchase if you use my link in description, so check it out. Would really help the channel out massively, and I'd really appreciate it. This is in essence the map of the Horn of Africa as it's known, together with the Ethiopian Empire as it is known in EU5, or I'm sorry, Project Caesar. And speaking of, I actually have an idea, guys. When they announced Project Caesar to be EU5, because everybody knows that it is EU5, instead of calling it EU5, let's all start calling it Project Caesar until the end of time. So that way, they learn not to hype the game so much and make us wait for it so much, okay? I need to play it right now, please! Now let's go ahead and take a little bit of a closer look at this. As you would imagine, the Ethiopian Empire, despite being an empire, is not going to go uncontested. It does have some pretty massive nations next to it, namely Ifat, which is one of the Islamic nations that would be contesting Ethiopian Empire, as well as classic Ajuran right next to Ifat. Question is, what was he running from? Am I right? I make the best jokes, really. Now we also have the very much so fragmented Nubian states as well here. And yes, in case you're wondering, these are called the Nubian states because they're just really bad at playing map games. In fact, some would call them noobs. That's exactly where the origin of the word noob comes from the Nubian state. Trust me, I totally didn't just make this up. Except I did. See, I destroyed your trust in me now, didn't I? But you know what I'm gonna do to make up for that? Nothing. That's right. I'm gonna do nothing. And you're still gonna subscribe. You know what? In fact, hit that subscribe button right now. Otherwise, I'm taking your savings and I'm running away on a vacation to the Maldives and wasting all the $5 on boobs. Booze. I said booze. Booze. All right, enough with the weird scenarios. We also have very important here, guys, aside from the fragmented Nubian states, and we do have a few new ones compared to EU4. We've got Nakis, Baklin, Al Abwab, Bazin. We do have also Jarin, which is new, and Kako? Something like that. Mecca is its own entity here, and we have Yemen, Subai, Dawasir, Kahtan, and AM. I'm not sure what AM is over in the northern bit over yonder. I do see a little bit of a purple, and this little fragment of purple is probably going to be Yas Queen, as we all know it. Pavia says, here we have the countries around Nubia, Ethiopia, Somalia. The first ones are organized around the ancient kingdoms of Makuria and Alodia, which control the upper Nile region. In the second area, the Ethiopian Empire stands as the main power with some smaller countries around it. Finally, we have two Islamic sultanates of Ifat and Ajuran stand as the main powers in the Horn of Africa and Somalia, as well as around the African Great Lakes. There's a country that can be considered settled, namely Kitara. And hold on a second here, I didn't even realize that we've got Kitara. Oh my god, wow, dude, we've got Kitara in the south here. How did I not even see that? Actually, that's wild. We have the dynasties, of course, here, the Solomons. We also have Walashma in both Ifat and Ajuran, so it's clearly some sort of a family affair going on there. Plus the dynasties of the Horn, some historical ones like the Solomon one, whilst others randomly generated, because as you would expect, they don't really have that much historical information of what exactly was happening in the Cape of Horn and the Horn of Africa in the 1300s. There's not much records except for some Ethiopian records that we still have. The most famous is probably the House of Solomon, of course, with all of their Neguses, because that's the official title of the leader of the Ethiopian Empire, the Negus. The Walshma rule over both Ifat and Ajuran, as well as we have the Medri of the Medri Bari right over to the northern parts of Ethiopia here, the Umar of Mogadishu, the Banu Khans of Makuria, or the Bazam Bedambarbam of Kitara. That's totally made up one. 100% they don't have the actual dynasty of Kitara. If they do, that's wild. I didn't expect that. Now, a brand new map, guys, the societies of pops. Now, we know from the previous dev diaries that society of pops are basically nations that do not technically own the provinces, but they live within provinces, of course, as a sort of a shadowy entity in the background, with the possibility of eventually becoming an actual country once they've researched enough advancements or they've gained some sort of power over the areas which they populate. Now, in our case here, Pavia says you can see the countries that we consider societies of pops as they were represented in the last Tinto talks. We have the famous Oromo people, which stand in the lands between Ethiopia, Ifat, and Ajuran, and these are the Oromo right over here. I believe Oromo people is in modern, contemporary Ethiopia, one of the few main pops in Ethiopia. Ethiopia doesn't have like only Ahmara or whatever the main one is, I think, but they've got like Tigray and they have Oromo. They have a lot of different ethnic groups in Ethiopia even today, including these particular society pops, which is a part of Ethiopian society today. The Kunama as well, the Gumus, the Berta in the lands between Ethiopia and Alodia, and the Gazwa to the north of Wadai. Few more to the west, but I'll share the picture in West African thread as it's more appropriate. There are some more stateless societies of this kind that we'd like to add in the future. These are the people he was talking about, the Gumus people right here between Ethiopia and the Nubian areas, Wagwa people into the west and close to Wadai, and I kind of feel like they might add some more societies of pops in the future. Like, there were of course a lot of second-grade citizens, as we like to call them today, all around the world, even before, because peoples got conquered. The moment they got conquered, another people were the ones in charge, and they were just living in those other people's lands, more or less, right? In some cases they were just not settled and they would literally go around with the tent. This is the location map mode. Let's actually have a little bit of a closer look at this. So Ethiopia's got a pretty high amount of provinces. Look how small some of these are. Like, these are really small, some of these. Holy snaps. We have some classic ones like Hadia, Mormor, Sheikh Hussein, Sharka, Barara, Wej, Dima, and we got a lot of new ones as well. I say it's very clear to see the difference between what Ethiopian lands, which generally speaking has a lot more provinces, and smaller provinces, which is one way in which Paradox can make the Ethiopian parts a little bit stronger and make them actually powerful. High concentration of pops, certain degree of advancements at the start of the campaign in order for them to consolidate their position, take over the rest of the areas around the Horn of Africa, and then just essentially get ready for those European friendly talks, as we like to call them, right? Pavia does mention the density is quite unequal. Unfortunately, the archaeological finds for the period are scarce, to say the least. There's not really many, to be fair, especially out of the most known areas, and because of the lack of urbanization in most of the territory. Yeah, I completely agree with that. It would be impossible to get an accurate depiction of these kind of things from the 1300s without any actual archaeological finds, without any actual written text about those areas, right? A big chunk of the Arabian Peninsula can be seen in today's Tinto maps, but please reserve the feedback for future dev diaries. We'll show all of the peninsula eventually with its own unique dev diary, or Tinto maps for that matter. Apart from that, you can see more detailed maps if you click on the spoiler button as usual. Boom, spoiler, and we just got spoiled. It's Jover. We know everything now. Province map mode, pretty much similar to locations where we have more smaller provinces in Ethiopia, and then we have bigger provinces outside of Ethiopia. Actually, holy snap, this is one province. How would that's like the same size as all of Ethiopia almost. Jesus. Actually, this is all of Ethiopia. Erg Salima as a province is literally probably a little bit bigger than the Ethiopian Empire as a whole freaking empire. This is the area map mode: southern, central, northern Ethiopia, Somalia as well. 3 regions for Somalia: Butana, Nubia, Darfur, and Kordofan, and Equatoria, as we know of from Victoria 3, right? Terrain map mode: mostly arid with a little bit of oceanic and a lot of tropical as well. Deserts by the coastline and pretty much all of the Arabian Peninsula. We do have a little bit of grasslands in Yemen, however, and we've got a lot of grasslands and forest and woods in Ethiopia. A little bit of sparse between the Ethiopian lands and the Nubian parts in the north when the desert starts happening. And Central Africa, as you would imagine, is forest, woods, grasslands. It's pretty great land to own. Ethiopia, as we all know, is pretty mountainous, as is Kenya for that matter. Uganda and Tanzania here, so we see that depicted pretty well. A lot of plateaus amongst the mountains, a little bit of hills here and there, and just a ton of flatlands all around outside Ethiopia, outside of the area around Lake Victoria as well. And check it out, guys. Natural harbor map mode. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 100% bonus harbors right within easy capturing range of the Ethiopian. So if they want, they could actually do a pretty decent naval empire, or at least they could try and colonize pretty easily if they get a hold of these particular locations, so they can build their fleets from there. And we have some more, I think 2 more 100% in the south, close to well, this is a Juran land at the start of the campaign. Now the juicy stuff is the culture map mode. Before we get into that, Pavia says lands of Ethiopia has very mixed cultural situation. It still has today that situation, by the way. Whilst the west and the south, we represent tribal lands in a more homogenous way with kind of fixed boundaries to represent the different groupings. Doesn't mean that we wouldn't be mixing cultures, but it would be the first area to receive minority review. Okay, so let's cut to the chase here. Obviously, the northern parts is where all the noobs live. That's why we have Nubian. We got some Sugandese Arabs as well, and some Bedouins, Tigray, one of the main Ethiopian cultures, of course. Amhara is the primary culture technically, and they probably will be the majority in the Ethiopian Empire at the start date. We also have Omoro, as we've seen before. They are also a society of pops. Somali, quite a few of them all around the place. And then we've got a buttload of different little tribal pops, essentially. Dinka, Anuak, Surma, Madi, Luo, etc. Just take a good gander here at how insane the amount of pops density and just how many different pops there are. It's hard to even understand what is going on here. Like, seriously, there's just so many different pops. I feel like this game might actually require a NASA computer to play. I hope it's properly optimized, because the more culture map modes I'm seeing from different Tinto talks, the more I think that, holy snaps, this game's gonna really require a really good computer, and I don't think that would be the best thing. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's super optimized, and I really hope it is. The Tinto development team has been doing an amazing job so far with the EU4 DLCs when it comes to optimization, so I have full faith in Johan, full faith in the Tinto development team for optimizing the game properly before it gets released, right? As for the religious map mode, well, this is pretty cool. So we have a lot of Miaphysites, which is majority of Ethiopia, as well as quite a sizable amount of the Nubians are Miaphysites, and that makes sense because even in 1440, even in 2024, there's still a sizable amount of Miaphysites or Copts or whatever you want to call them in Sudan. That's why South Sudan broke from Sudan and it's its own country now, because they are Christians, majority of them Coptic Christian, and they didn't want to be a part of a Muslim sultanate or whatever Sudan is, a Muslim nation anyway. Now we do have also quite a significant amount of Sunni Muslims in the south part of Ethiopia, so predominantly it's the whole age-old rivalry between the Orthodox Christians or Miaphysites and the Sunni Muslims. We do have pockets of animus, but Pavia says that this is a placeholder, all of the red bits here which are animus, because they will give most of the animus unique religion. So these African bits that have animus, South America, North America, eventually there's going to be some unique religions, so it's going to be a lot more small pockets of various religions eventually. We do have a little bit of Shia here as well in Yemen, as well as in Medina. Where is that? Mecca? I forgot. Which is good to see, because obviously there was still quite a few Shiites in that area. There's still quite a few Shiites in that area today, right? And you also might be wondering, what is this darker shade of purple amongst the purple? That's the Beta Israels. That's the Jewish people that should be in Ethiopia at the start of the campaign. And I feel like they should change the color to something else, because purple with darker purple does not seem that intuitive. Maybe they can make it like white or something, just so they can distinguish between it. The raw material map mode tells me one thing. Someone in the development team is clearly Ethiopian, because we've got some juicy stuff in this area. I mean, we got a lot of everything basically. We got copper here in the eastern parts in Somalia. We got coffee all around the place, a lot of lumber, wheat, livestock, fruits, all the basic necessities, so we have an easy lifestyle. But then we got gold. Look at this. Look at all the gold. 1, 2, 3 provinces, 4, 5 provinces, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I might have missed a few. There's at least 12 gold provinces, and we have gems. 1 gem, 2 gem, 3 gem. That's right, you're one of them too. And we have another one here, 4 gem, 5 gem. Actually, we got quite a few gems, man. There's a lot of gems. More importantly though, even better than gems and gold is this. Look at that. You see that? That's something that no EU4 player has attained up until now. Dates. You want a date? I can be a date. The markets are basically divided between Aksum, Mogadishu, Adan, and Mecca, and the population distribution is pretty interesting. We have actually 1.2 million in this. So Ethiopia has less than a million. They got 800,000 in Ethiopia, but we got 1.2 million. And what is that? Alodia or something? Yeah, that is Alodia. Alodia has more pops than Ethiopia does. That's real freaking crazy. So basically Alodia is going to be potentially the strongest nation around here, and they're also, remember, predominantly Miaphysites. So as Ethiopia, you definitely want to get all those pops into your country so you can get a little bit stronger. Yemen 1.6 million, which is huge, and then both of the Somalis together roughly around 1 million. Population in the region, there's approximately 12 million people in East Africa subcontinent, although taking into account that it also comprises the regions of the South Great Lakes and Swahili coast. They cannot show everything, and this is just for the areas that have already a country. So of course there's pops in the non-colonized, non-owned by settled countries lands, altogether accruing up to 12.3 million. That's pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed this dev diary. I had a lot of fun reading through this, and don't forget to use my link in description to get any game you want from Instant Gaming. Would really help out the channel massively, and I'll see you guys in the next one.